Hi, this is Pam from the Hooked on Sewing blog. In this video tutorial, I would like to show you how I took an orphan quilt block and turned it into a zipper pouch. Let's take a look. Need your quilt block, some quilt batting, and some backing fabric. Once you have those sandwiched together, you're just going to stitch them or quilt them in your favorite way. Here I first did just some straight line stitching using a 3.5 millimeter stitch length along each side of the seam, about 1/4 of an inch from each seam. But then I decided I wanted to have a little bit more quilting than that, so I decided to do some quilting all over that quilt block about 1/4 of an inch apart. So I just did straight line stitching 1/4 of an inch apart all the way across, kind of in a hatch pattern. And then my particular quilt block had these like triangles in the center of the top of or side of each square. And I went ahead and stitched those in a triangle pattern. But you can do your stitching however you want to suit your quilt block. Okay, once you have the quilt block quilted the way that you want, it's time to trim it up. I just took my square ruler and my rotary cutter and trimmed it up so it's about 11.5 inches square all the way around. And you'll do that with all 4 sides of your quilt block. Again, it just depends on the size of the quilt block that you're using. If you're using a smaller one, you'll have a smaller zipper pouch. If you're using a larger one, you'll have a larger zipper pouch. But just make sure you have all the edges nice and even and trimmed up. And as you can see, I've done a lot more quilting on this quilt block. Here you can see that I've done it every 1/4 of an inch. And this is what the back of it looked like. And you can see those triangles that I was telling you about. Excuse me. Okay, now it's time to prepare our zipper. So I like to use zipper tabs. I do have a video tutorial on how to make zipper tabs, and I will leave a link to that. But basically, I trimmed up my zipper ends, and then I cut a piece of fabric that's probably 1.5 inches wide by at least 2 inches tall, and sewed those onto the end of each of my zippers. And here I'm just pinning my zipper end so that those will stay together while I attach the zipper tab fabric. So place the fabric face down on top of your zipper end and just pin or clip it in place where you can just hold it. It's such a small piece. But make sure you have the edge of your fabric lined up with the edge of the zipper tape. And if you have a metal zipper, you do not want to stitch over that metal zipper tab, so be careful of that. So there I've stitched across. Then I'm just going to fold the fabric down. And here I'm just marking where I'm going to trim my fabric for my zipper tab. Like I said, I have a full video tutorial on how to make zipper tabs, and I will leave a link to that as well. Okay, so I'll take the zipper tab and the zipper over to my sewing machine, and I'll stitch a narrow seam attaching that zipper tab to my zipper. Then I will trim off the ends so it's even with the zipper tape. And now I am ready to attach my zipper to my quilt block. So with your quilt block, the top edge laying right side up, you'll take your zipper tape right side down and line it up with the long edge of your fabric. Make sure that you have your zipper centered and that you have 1/4 to 1/2 inch seam allowance on each end of the zipper. Once you have that pinned or clipped in place, you're ready to stitch it. I take it to my sewing machine and I'm using my narrow AccuFeed foot, but you can use your zipper foot or whatever you have. A narrow foot works best. I have my needle in the left position and I'm stitching close to my zipper teeth, but not on top of the zipper teeth. And then make sure that you backstitch at the beginning and the end to secure your zipper to your fabric. And then I'm going to take and fold this fabric right along that stitch line to the back side there, you'll see, and I'm going to top stitch just to hold that fabric down to keep it out of the way of the zipper. So open my zipper up and keep that seam kind of pressed nice and flat, and I'm just going to top stitch right along real close to the edge of the fabric there, just to keep that fabric down and away from my zipper. And I will repeat that with the other side after I attach the zipper to the other side of the quilt block. And there's no need to back stitch here, but there you go. I have it attached to one side. So lay the fabric right side up, fold it over, and then line up the long edge of the zipper with the other end of your quilt block. And then pin or clip that in place. And then you'll take that to your sewing machine and stitch it just like you did the first side. I also like to do some top stitching to hold that seam allowance down by the zipper. It's easier if you do the first side before you sew the second side of the zipper to the fabric. And then once you sew the second side of the zipper to the fabric, you just have to kind of finagle the fabric out of your way as you stitch that seam down. Next, I'm going to line up the top edges of my pouch, clip that in place, and line up the side edges. Then I'm going to draw a 1-inch square at each bottom corner and cut out those squares. These squares are going to help me box the bottom of this pouch. All right, now I'm ready to stitch my sides together. I'm going to stitch along the sides from bottom to top. I am not stitching along the side where I cut out the 1-inch square. And I will repeat that for the second side. Once I have that done, I'll line up my side seam with the bottom of the fabric. So kind of fold your pouch in half, and that will be mark the center of the bottom. So I'm going to line that up with my side seam and stitch a like 1/4-inch seam allowance across there, and repeat that with the other end. Now here I'm just adding some finishing binding to those seams. You don't have to finish your seams with binding. I just had the extra fabric and thought I would do that. You can zigzag your stitches or your seams. If you have a serger, you can also finish them with that. Or you can just leave them raw if you like. And so here is my finished zipper pouch that I made out of a quilt block that I messed up, and I decided to keep it and thought I would someday make something out of it. And so I made this cute little zipper pouch. It's really nice and sturdy because of the quilting, and I just think it turned out really adorable. But this is just to give you an idea of what you can maybe do in the future with some quilt blocks, whether they were mistakes or orphaned or just some extras that you have, or you wanted to quilt something together really quick to make one of these adorable zipper pouches. So this is just a view of the outside, the front of it. I did add some little rick-rack onto the zipper pull to help with that. This is the rear of the zipper pouch and the bottom. And this is the other side of the pouch. Thank you so much for watching this video tutorial. If you found it helpful, please like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please come visit me over on the Hooked on Sewing blog and subscribe to my newsletter so you can get sewing tutorials, patterns, and ideas delivered straight to your inbox. Thank you.